The people who hurt you wanted to see you break. They wanted to control your emotions, your energy, your future. But stop for a moment and ask yourself, what is real power? Is it proving them wrong? Is it making them suffer? Or is it something greater? Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." True power isn't in retaliation. It's in rising, untouched, unbothered, and unstoppable. The moment you stop chasing revenge, you take back your power. When you focus on your growth, your success, and your peace, they lose all control over you. They wanted your reaction, but what they truly fear is your indifference. Seneca wrote, "No one can harm you without your permission." Yes, your pain is real, but your response is your choice. You can either stay trapped in resentment or transform it into something greater. In this video, we will uncover the Stoic approach to revenge, the kind that doesn't just free you from suffering, but makes you untouchable. So here's your challenge. Instead of wasting your time on anger, invest in yourself. Build the life they said you couldn't. Turn their betrayal into fuel. Transform their doubt into your drive. Because the greatest revenge is simple. Live so well that they become irrelevant. If this message resonates with you, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe. Let's rise above together. Your journey to strength and resilience starts now. Number 1. Why traditional revenge is a trap. Have you ever felt an overwhelming urge to make someone suffer the way they made you suffer? The sting of betrayal, the weight of injustice, it lingers in your mind, refusing to fade. You replay the moment over and over, crafting the perfect way to make them feel the same pain. It feels like justice, like balance being restored. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, does revenge truly heal the wound, or does it keep it open, festering, poisoning you from within? Imagine someone throws a burning coal at you. Your first instinct is to catch it and throw it back. But the moment your fingers close around it, the fire sears your skin. You are the first to suffer. This is the nature of revenge. The second you let anger dictate your actions, you have already lost. You are no longer in control. You are reacting, not acting. You are allowing someone else's actions to define you. The Stoics saw this not as power, but as weakness. True power is not in punishing those who wronged you. It is in proving that they never had control over you to begin with. Seneca once said, "No one can harm you without your permission." At first, this may seem unrealistic. Of course, people can harm us. They can betray, deceive, and humiliate. But Seneca's wisdom lies in understanding that the real damage is not in the act itself, but in how much we allow it to affect us. The moment you let another person's actions control your emotions, you have surrendered your peace of mind to them. And the cruel irony of revenge, it does not free you from this control, it reinforces it. The more you plot, the more you dwell, the more they remain at the center of your thoughts. Instead of moving on, you stay trapped in a cycle of anger and obsession. It is human nature to want revenge. Our minds are wired for it. In ancient times, retaliation was necessary for survival. If someone stole from you, attacked your family, or threatened your tribe, revenge was a form of justice. It maintained order, ensured consequences, and deterred future harm. Even today, our instincts tell us that by making the other person suffer, we will somehow restore balance. But this instinct, though deeply ingrained, is outdated. In a world where physical retaliation is no longer the norm, Revenge has taken on more subtle forms: silent grudges, passive-aggressive behavior, and the slow poison of resentment. And these modern forms of revenge do not bring the closure we seek. They prolong the suffering. Consider the story of Caracalla, a Roman emperor consumed by vengeance. After murdering his own brother out of jealousy, he became obsessed with eliminating anyone who might oppose him. He executed senators, persecuted philosophers, and waged costly wars, all fueled by paranoia and resentment. But did his revenge bring him peace? No, it made him reckless, isolated, and ultimately vulnerable. His obsession did not only destroy his enemies, it destroyed him. One of his own guards, tired of his cruelty, assassinated him. Caracalla's legacy is not one of strength, but of self-destruction. Now contrast this with Marcus Aurelius. As emperor, he faced betrayal from his closest allies, including Avidius Cassius, his most trusted general, who declared himself ruler of Rome. Marcus had every reason to seek brutal revenge, but instead of reacting with fury, he responded with indifference. He did not let Cassius's actions shake his character or disrupt his leadership. And before Marcus even needed to act, Cassius was killed by his own men. The situation resolved itself, not through force, but through its own natural course. Marcus understood that true power is not in retaliation, but in mastering oneself. Which of these two men was truly stronger? The one who let revenge consume him, or the one who remained untouchable? The answer is clear. The paradox of revenge is that the more you seek to punish others, the more you punish yourself. The more energy you spend thinking about your enemies, the more power you give them over your mind. You think you are hurting them, but in reality, you are keeping them alive inside you. And here is the greatest tragedy. Even if you succeed in your revenge, what then? Does it erase the past? Does it bring true peace? Studies have shown that acts of retaliation do not bring lasting happiness. Instead, they often leave people feeling emptier than before. The satisfaction is fleeting, but the resentment lingers. Like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die, revenge only deepens the wound. Seneca also said, "The best remedy for anger is delay." In other words, when you pause instead of reacting, you reclaim your power. When you refuse to let someone's betrayal shape your emotions, you win. Because the greatest revenge is not in making them suffer, it is in proving that they never had control over you to begin with. Think back to a time when you were wronged. Did your anger help you, or did it keep you stuck? Did revenge make you feel free, or did it tie you even closer to the past? The Stoics understood that true power lies in detachment. To let go is not to surrender, it is to rise above. It is to break the chains that keep you tied to someone who no longer deserves your attention. The longer you hold on to the idea of revenge, the longer you allow the person who hurts you to remain in control. The moment you decide to move on, not out of weakness but out of strength, is the moment you take your power back. Revenge is a cycle, a trap, a prison of your own making. The only way to win is not to play. True power is not in making them suffer. It is in living so well, so fully, so freely, that their existence no longer affects you. The world remembers Marcus Aurelius as one of the greatest leaders in history, a man who ruled with wisdom and discipline. Few remember Avidius Cassius, the man who tried to betray him. This is the lesson of Stoicism. The best revenge is not in proving them wrong, it is in proving that they never mattered. So ask yourself, are you still holding on to the burning coal? Or is it time to let it go? Number 2, the Stoic formula for true revenge. If revenge, as most people imagine it, is a trap, then what is the alternative? How do you reclaim your power without being consumed by the need to strike back? The answer lies not in destruction, but in transformation. The greatest revenge is not in hurting those who wronged you. It is in making them irrelevant. It is in becoming so strong, so untouchable, that their actions no longer have any impact on your life. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the foundation of true revenge: absolute control over yourself. When someone betrays you, insults you, or tries to bring you down, what they want most is a reaction. They want to see you angry, broken, and desperate to prove a point. The moment you lose control, they win. But when you refuse to engage, when you remain calm in the face of their chaos, you take back your power. Imagine two warriors facing each other. One is fueled by rage, swinging wildly, desperate to land a hit. The other is calm, focused, waiting for the right moment. Who is truly stronger? The one who lets their emotions control them, or the one who controls their emotions? This is how you must approach those who seek to hurt you. If you react with anger, you are playing their game. But if you remain steady, you rise above it. Mastering your emotions is not about suppressing them. It is about training yourself to respond instead of react. The Stoics practiced this through self-discipline. They understood that emotions are like storms, intense but temporary. When anger rises, instead of reacting immediately, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? More often than not, the answer is no. With time, what once seemed unbearable will shrink into insignificance. The person who wronged you will fade into irrelevance, not because they changed, but because you grew beyond them. But true revenge does not stop at self-control. It is not enough to remain indifferent. You must also rise above. The best way to defeat those who try to bring you down is to become so great that they can no longer reach you. History remembers those who turned adversity into strength. Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years, treated with cruelty and injustice. He had every reason to seek revenge, but instead, he chose a different path. He walked out of prison not as a man seeking retribution, but as a leader who would unite a divided nation. He became a global symbol of wisdom and peace, while those who oppressed him faded into obscurity. His success was his revenge. The same lesson can be seen in the story of Steve Jobs. After being betrayed and fired from his own company, he could have spent years consumed by bitterness, plotting against those who wronged him. But instead of focusing on revenge, he focused on his craft. He built new companies, refined his vision, and when he returned to Apple, he transformed it into one of the most successful companies in history. The people who once pushed him out became irrelevant, not because he destroyed them, but because he outgrew them. This is the kind of revenge that truly lasts, not fleeting satisfaction, but undeniable greatness. Instead of wasting your energy proving a point, use that energy to build something unstoppable. Instead of looking back, look forward. Let them watch as you succeed beyond anything they ever imagined. But there is one final step, the hardest yet the most powerful. Let go, not for them, but for yourself. The people who cause harm often face the consequences of their own actions. Call it karma, call it natural justice, But those who live with malice often destroy themselves in the end. Your job is not to make that happen. Your job is to focus entirely on your own life. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." In other words, don't waste time trying to prove your worth to those who doubted you. Simply become so strong, so fulfilled, that their opinions no longer matter. A person who betrayed you in love, forget them. Build a life so great that their absence becomes meaningless. A boss who undervalued you, let them go. Rise so high that they one day regret ever doubting you. Revenge is not found in words or actions. It is found in a life well lived. It is easy to let resentment take root. It is easy to dwell on what was lost, to replay the past, to wish things had gone differently. But none of that serves you. Holding on to revenge is like holding on to a burning coal, hoping it will hurt someone else. In the end, you are the one who gets burned. The real power move is not in punishing them. It is in making them irrelevant. It is in living with such purpose that they become nothing more than a forgotten lesson. The next time you're wronged, ask yourself, what serves me best? Wasting energy on the past or investing everything into my future? The answer is clear. Let go, rise above, and make your success the only response they ever receive. Number 3, practicing Stoicism to let go of resentment. Letting go of revenge is easier said than done. Even when you understand that revenge is a trap, that it keeps you chained to those who wronged you, there is still a part of you that resists. The mind clings to anger because it feels like justice. It tells you that if you let go, you are allowing them to win. But the truth is, holding on to resentment does not punish them. It punishes you. It keeps the wound fresh, the pain alive, and the betrayal present in your daily thoughts. The only way to truly move forward is to take deliberate action in freeing yourself from it. One of the most powerful ways to do this is through a simple shift in perspective. What if the person who hurt you no longer mattered? Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that their actions, their betrayal, their cruelty, no longer have power over you. They become just another figure in your past, a distant memory, a lesson learned. How would that feel? What would your life look like if you were no longer weighed down by the need to get even? Would you be lighter, freer, more at peace? This is not just a thought experiment. It is a path to liberation. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Most of our pain does not come from what happened, but from how much we relive it in our minds. Every time we replay the betrayal, every time we remind ourselves of the injustice, we are reopening the wound. But what if we stopped? What if we treated those thoughts the way we treat passing clouds, acknowledging them, but letting them drift away? A practical way to release resentment is through a technique called write but never send. Take a piece of paper and write everything you want to say to the person who hurt you. Every ounce of anger, every frustration, every unspoken thought. Let it all out. Be as raw and unfiltered as you need to be. Then when you are done, destroy the letter. Burn it, shred it, throw it away. This act is symbolic. It is a way of emptying the poison from your system without feeding the cycle of revenge. You are not seeking closure from them. You are creating closure for yourself. Another powerful practice is Stoic visualization. Picture your life 5 years from now. Imagine yourself thriving, successful, deeply happy. Now ask yourself, will this grudge still matter? Will the actions of this person still have any hold over you? Chances are the answer is no. The things that seem unbearable now often become insignificant over time. By practicing this mental shift today, you accelerate the process of detachment. You begin to reclaim your mind from the past and redirect it toward a future of growth. This is not just theory, it is a path that has changed lives. Take, for example, the story of a woman named Sarah. She was engaged to be married, deeply in love, when she discovered that her fiancé had been unfaithful. The betrayal shattered her. For months, she was consumed by thoughts of revenge, exposing him, ruining his reputation, making him feel the pain he had caused her. But then she stumbled upon Stoicism. Instead of seeking retaliation, she chose a different approach. She redirected her energy into herself. She focused on her career, her health, her passions. She built a life so fulfilling that the man who once dominated her thoughts became irrelevant. Years later, when he reached out to apologize, she felt nothing, no anger, no desire for revenge, just indifference. And that was the greatest victory of all. But what if you feel like you simply cannot let go? What if the pain is still fresh, the injustice still burns, and the idea of moving on feels impossible? This is where meditative detachment becomes essential. The Stoics practiced a form of mental distancing, reminding themselves that everything in life is temporary, including pain. If you feel overwhelmed by anger, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, will this still matter a year from now? 5 years? 10? Most of the time, the answer is no. When you see the transience of your emotions, you realize that they do not own you. You begin to step outside of them rather than being controlled by them. Another method is reframing the story. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of betrayal, reframe the situation as a lesson. Ask yourself, what did this experience teach me? Maybe it taught you to set better boundaries, to be more discerning in whom you trust, or to rely more on yourself. When you reframe the experience as something that made you stronger, it no longer has the same hold over you. You transform the pain into wisdom. A perfect example of this is the story of a man named Daniel. He spent years building a business with his best friend, only to be betrayed. His friends secretly took control of their company, leaving Daniel with nothing. At first, Daniel was consumed with rage. He wanted revenge, to destroy his former friend's reputation. But instead of wasting years on resentment, he chose a different path. He took the lessons he had learned and started over. Slowly, he built an even more successful business, one that thrived beyond anything he had before. Years later, his ex-business partner's company collapsed due to bad decisions. Without lifting a finger, Daniel had won, not by seeking revenge, but by excelling beyond the person who betrayed him. And then there is the final practice, the simplest yet the most profound. Live well. Invest in yourself so completely that those who wronged you become a distant memory. Build a life so full of purpose, so deeply fulfilling, that their existence becomes irrelevant. This is the most powerful revenge of all, not bitterness, not hatred, but absolute indifference. When you reach this state, you will understand the true essence of Stoicism, that nothing outside of you has the power to harm you unless you allow it. The Stoics understood that true power is found not in controlling others, but in controlling yourself. When you free yourself from the chains of resentment, you reclaim your peace. You no longer waste energy on the past, but invest everything into your future. You rise above, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom. So ask yourself, if the person who hurt you no longer mattered, what would your life look like? And what is stopping you from making that life a reality right now? The answer is within you. Let go, move forward, and let your success be the only response they ever receive. Number 4, the final Stoic lesson on revenge. Revenge is not about making them suffer, it is about making yourself untouchable. The moment you stop chasing retaliation, you set yourself free, because true power is not found in anger, nor in proving them wrong, but in reaching a place where their actions no longer affect you. The greatest revenge is not in fighting battles, but in walking away so completely that their existence no longer holds any weight in your life. They wanted your reaction. They wanted to see you break. They wanted to control your emotions, your thoughts, your energy. But the moment you choose indifference, you deny them that power. You shift your focus from the past to your future, from them to yourself. And when you rise, when you succeed beyond anything they imagine, they will come to realize they never had control over you at all. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That means refusing to become bitter, refusing to waste your energy on people who do not deserve it. It means turning pain into wisdom, betrayal into growth, and anger into clarity. When you do this, you take back everything they tried to steal from you: your peace, your confidence, your direction. Think about the people who have wronged you, the ones who lied, betrayed, or hurt you. Now imagine if, instead of holding on to that pain, you used it as fuel. Imagine transforming every moment of anger into something productive. Imagine growing so much that they become nothing more than a forgotten name in your past. This is not fantasy. This is what true strength looks like. It is not about erasing the past, but about no longer letting it define you. But letting go is not always easy. Your mind will try to pull you back, to relive the moment, to justify your anger. That is why this is a daily practice, a conscious decision to choose growth over resentment. It is the discipline of reminding yourself that your future is more important than your past, that no matter what was done to you, you will not allow it to shape who you become. The true Stoic does not ask, "How can I make them pay?" but rather, "How can I ensure they no longer matter?" So the question is no longer about them, it is about you. Will you let the past keep you shackled, or will you reclaim your power and move forward? The choice is yours. Let go, rise above, and let your success be the only response they ever receive. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect. What will you change in the way you face pain and betrayal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your journey to strength and resilience starts now. And if you're ready to master your emotions and live with unshakable peace, make sure to subscribe. In the next video, we'll uncover another Stoic lesson that will help you take full control of your life. Until then, live well, rise above, and never let anyone dictate your peace.